young, Jigsaw's apprentice would have needed assistance with Carrie's trap because she was like 100 pounds and Carrie weighed more than her. There's no way that she could have got it up there. And so he's thinking there's another accomplice. And Hoffman's like, yeah, but, John Kramer is an engineering expert. He could have, made rigs and pulleys, and they're not buying that. So kind of interesting where we're going now. So you've got a case that's supposedly closed, but it's not. And this is kind of a theme of the rest of the series. So anyway, that night, Rigg is actually attacked in his home, and Hoffman disappears. So you've got the two, cops disappear. Not the FBI ones, but the ones who are actually working on the same force as Tapp and Carrie and Detective Eric Matthews. Anybody I've missed so far that was the Chinese guy from the first one whose head got blown off? Oh, there he goes. Here we go. I had to bring up Asians. I knew it was going to happen.
Yep, your fault.
So when Rigg actually wakes up, there's a video. He wakes up in a cold shower, which has happened to me before, but it reminds me of fucking the first one whenever Adam wakes up in the cold bath,
Yeah.
Well, this videotape that he watches, it informs him that Matthews is in fact still alive. And you're like, what the fuck? You just assumed he died, We assumed he died in part 2, but part 3 kind of told even more of a story. And so you assumed he was dead, but not so much. And basically, Rigg has 90 minutes to save himself. And Hoffman's survival is at stake as well. So Rigg's job is to go save these other cops. So he goes under his first test, which is where he finds a woman named Brenda. And this chick's a hooker. Am I wrong? Isn't that what she is?
Definitely a hooker.
Yeah. So this tape, Jigsaw advises Rigg to walk away and to, quote, see what I see, as written on the wall. But Rigg's natural instincts to try to help those in need, and it clouds his judgment. So when Rigg removes the pig mask covering Brenda's face, I know pigs are like an underlying theme of this movie. I assume because like pigs to the slaughter or something like that, but wouldn't it be lambs? But I guess Silence of the Lambs already did that, I think that's why.
They're showing Gordon Hayward's ankle.
Ugh.
It's like the real life
bone breaking. Ugh. So when he takes off his pig mask, he triggers a trap device that begins to slowly tear her scalp from her head. And Vic, this is also disgusting. I mean, we are in full torture porn mode now, are we not?
Oh, yeah. Like, I tell you, every movie they amp it up just a little bit more. Just a little
Piranha?
bit more.
Do you remember Piranha where the girl gets Piranha 3D where the girl gets her head caught in the propeller? It's just like that.
Yeah.
It's fucking nasty. This thing is slowly pulling her hair down there. And, he eventually frees her after half her fucking scalp comes off. And the bitch attacks him with a pair of scissors or something. She's trying to kill Rigg. And, Rigg's like, what the fuck, bitch? I just tried to save you. And, basically she's been told that Rigg's there to arrest her. And the only way to stop him is to kill him. Which, I mean, how much of a sentence does prostitution hold anyway? I guess we don't know where this is. Do we even know what state this is in? Because I don't. I have no idea.
I don't think it's idea.
I don't think so either. I'm going to have to figure it out one of these days. I'm sure some nerd will tell me, and I'll be like, well, fuck you then. So.
I bet you won't.
He throws this chick into a mirror, and he leaves to find the site of his next test. Sometime later, though, Stram, Perez, and the police enter the apartment and find Brenda dead. So, what did she bleed out? I mean, what was the deal?
What did you say?
How did this chick die?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Like, he threw her into the mirror, and then the next scene, she's dead. Did she bleed to death?
I mean, probably, maybe.
I don't really know either. It's weird. All right.
We're going to go with that.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to have to. There's no other fucking explanation of it. And Jigsaw does like telling people they'll bleed out if they don't do something. So that's my opinion here. All right, so
There you go.
Rig shows up to his second test. He arrives at a motel where he's instructed to, quote, feel what I feel. And I'm starting to feel like Raven's cutting his promo at this point.
Yeah.
So this is painted on the door of one of the rooms. And his job is to abduct the manager, Ivan, who's revealed to be a serial rapist. Kind of like you, Vic.
What classifies as serial?
I don't know. I guess you could be a date rapist, which is a lot more charming than a serial rapist, right?
Hey, hashtag me too, son. Me too.
You fucking asshole.
That
was the best thing that happened in the history of this show.
Oh my God, that's a lot. Wow.
That covers a lot. That covers
it
a lot.
Does. Oh, that's
you
a
know,
lot
we like our rape on this show.
Yeah.
We're big fans of rape on the show. We enjoy the finer things in life, such as spit on your grave.
Last time something left.
Yeah, all that stuff.
We enjoy tree rape is fun.
Yes, tree rape is a highlight of any movie. So
we're horrible people.
Rig is basically forced to Ivan. He forces Ivan into this prearranged trap at gunpoint in this hotel room. You know, which gives Ivan the option between having his eyes gouged out or being savagely dismembered. Would you gouge your eyes out, Vic, or you just be done? Because it's one thing to press a button and have it done, but it's quite another to be the guy that digs your own eyeball out, like in part 2.
Yeah. Fuck that. Oh.
This is another one, man, where they're just fucking with us. But this guy deserves it, so you really don't care, you know? I mean, you kind of care about the hooker because she's just a hooker, but this dude's a rapist. So, I mean, nobody cares about this fat bastard. So Rig hands this guy the 2 controllers to drive blades into his eyes, which will blind him but save his life. Well, Ivan runs out of time after he blinds one eye, and all his limbs are ripped off his body and thrown across the room. That's a pretty sweet scene, I have to say, Vic. It's as gory as something like that would be without showing too much, because I bet you they cut out like 20 seconds of this.
You already know, yeah. It was cut up and murdered.
Yep. This dude just got torn apart. He's done. Gotta love the traps on this one so far. They're a little different, but fun. So Rig's next test is to, quote, save as I save. And so he goes to a school. And this school has a backstory. It also makes me wonder if this is the same school in part 3 where Jay, what's his name, gets hooked with all those different hooks all over his body. Remember I told you it was a school he was in?
You mean Jay LaRose?
Yeah, that guy. I mean, I talked to the dude, and I can't remember his name. It's pretty sad. But anyway, I kind of think this might have been where he was.
Yeah.
But who knows?
I don't know.
You're never going to know either. Unless we do some backtrack and jigsaw.
And that's what I'm saying. We need to don't be told again and ask him these questions. You think he would tell us?
I think he would give us weird answers is what I think.
He'd probably say, that's up to your imagination. You figure it out.
That's what they all fucking say. That's what they all fucking say.
I know.
Like, at least Alex and Terry McMinn. Yeah, Adrian King and Terry McMinn make shit up.
They make up their own stories.
Yeah, which is false, but it's fine, whatever. They can make up their own stories all they want. All right, so anyway. So the backstory of this school, right, is that Rig, who again, Black Cop from part 2, is back for part 3 is back for part 4. He wants to attack this guy named Rex. No, his first name's not T. Who was apparently beating his wife and his daughter. And Hoffman had intervened to stave off disciplinary action against Rig at that time. Because, see, Rig beat the shit out of the dude for touching him, and then Hoffman broke it up. But then he lied to the to the investigators and said that the guy provoked him. So Hoffman helped Rig get out of this because the Rex had some scumbag lawyer that was going to basically help him sue the police department. And this scumbag lawyer is Art, who we'll get back to. He was the dude from the start. It was all fucking tied up with Trent, or whatever the hell the guy's name is. By the way, it's funny the guy's name was, Trevor. He looks like Trevor looked like R.A. Milhoff.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, less of a beard, but yeah, definitely him. So, in one of these classrooms, Rig discovers that same asshole husband and her wife are impaled together, or his wife are impaled together back to back with these long metal rods. This is a fucking cool trap because it's simple, but it's effective because it's all about the human anatomy. And the rods are placed so that they pass through vital circulatory points of his body, but non-vital points of hers. That would take a lot of fucking planning. You know what I'm saying, Vic? And if she has the courage, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, like somebody had the time, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta love creative torture porn. That's all I'm saying. So if she has the courage to remove the rods, her abusive husband will bleed to death, but she'll survive. So she's like, well, fuck you, and she starts pulling them out. She does. She doesn't even have to think that long about it, which good for her. And, she should have done this a long time ago, threw his ass off a roof. But then again, he might just be like the guy from Curse of Michael Myers. He was just trying to teach her some discipline. I mean, you can't blame the guy. He didn't do anything wrong. These people.
Yeah, people are dumb.
So by the time Rig gets in there and he finds the couple, she's pulled out all but one rod and, and gone into shock from blood loss. But she suddenly wakes up and Rig tells her that she has to save herself. So he removes the last rod, hands her the key to the harness she and her dead husband are strapped into, and he sets off a fire alarm to alert emergency services to her position. And then he's fuck out of there. So Rig is basically learning to let people help themselves at this point. And that was kind of the quote, save as I save. All right, so Stram and Perez, they arrive on the scene. And, previously they realized that both had become targets in the latest series of games, which is nothing new. All the investigators get fucked with, don't they?
Yeah, for sure.
So then they figure out that all of the victims were actually defended by Art, the lawyer, who is also the lawyer of Jill Tuck, John Kramer's ex-wife. And this is when we get introduced to Jill Tuck, who, by the way, pretty hot. She used to do some conventions.
Yes, she does, actually.
I have to tell you, she just looks evil, too.
Yeah, she's evil.
Or just mad. She looks mad all the time. Oh, yeah, definitely. Joker, too.
Yeah.
So, a gun used to insert the rods into Rex and Morgan actually fires a spear through a photographer and kills her on the scene. That's Perez, that is. Wait, excuse me. Fuck me. Well, whatever. Stram and Perez, they find Billy, Jigsaw's puppet, in the office. It's surrounded by candles. Perez is told via tape recorder that Stram will soon take the life of an innocent man and that her next step is critical. And so she fucking ignores it just like everybody else does. She takes a closer look at Billy, whose face fucking explodes and showers her with shrapnel. So she gets rushed to the hospital in critical condition. So Perez, I always thought it was a shotgun blast, but whatever it was, it fucking blew chunks into her face. It was crazy. Don't fuck with the puppet, Vic.
Hell no, that one was bad.
So Stram's all pissed off. He starts interrogating Jill, who basically tells Jigsaw's backstory. And so here it is. Jill was once pregnant with a boy to be named Gideon, which is after John's first construction project. But the baby was lost when Cecil robbed this clinic that Jill... Anyway, yeah, so Cecil was like a drug addict, and Jill worked at this, what do they call it, a methadone clinic, Vic? Isn't that what it is?
Yes, sir. Yep, you got it.
Yeah, so she works at a methadone clinic, and Cecil's one of the patients that comes in there, gets his drug fixed so he doesn't, die or whatever the case may be. But Cecil robs this place. where she's working. And on his way out,